hood, falling out the hood, falling getting money like a real one should. I'ma take a sip, get a little lit back in a bit, meditate, I think I should. No, we ain't friends, got me on 10.
So I've been waiting to make this video for a while now, since I've been sitting on it, and I've been sitting on these thoughts, and I've just wanted to get it out properly, and I've made some videos as of late that I still haven't properly been able to express the true state of where things are right now, because every day, somehow, even though the Jets are already eliminated from the playoffs, things are continuously getting worse by the day. Somehow, in the grace of all of this, they just signed Nikita Treberkov. Yay, that's great. That's actually good. 3-year entry-level deal signed. One of our better prospects. Had a killer year last year playing with St. Petersburg in the VHL. And he's just, a very good goal-scoring prospect. I had him in our top 6 prospects, I believe. So getting him signed is huge. Getting him to the Moose next year is huge. So that's obviously great, and I'm very happy about that. But that being said, that was kind of just a given. That's just a, hey, here you go, entry-level deal, sign it. Okay, there you go. Let's get things back on track right now. We're not praising the Winnipeg Jets right now because we are in a state of chaos. The ship is sinking. I thought that Rick Bowness's comments after elimination were perfect. I thought it was the best explanation and just pure heart and honesty that we've gotten from this team, from anyone involved with this organization all season long, for years, honestly. Now that was one of the most honest moments as someone that's been involved with this team has been for years now, it feels like. And it was great to hear that, because even though it was really somber and I was pissed off that we got kicked out of the playoffs, the performance that we gave in Game 5 and everything leading up to Game 5 in itself, in those 4 games after Game 1, but seriously, the last couple days have just been utter disaster. This organization is the Titanic right now, and it is going down with all of us on board screaming for help. This organization is pathetic. If you haven't already seen Zach and Carter's video on the No Hockey Podcast, and if you haven't already seen Jackson's video from Jets Hub, their channel links are down in the description below. Go watch them, because they're uttering a lot of the same stuff. And again, my video has new information too, so go listen to their stuff, because right now all of us need to be on the same page. Everyone needs to be feeling this way, because what the fuck is going on? We are watching the ship sink so fast right now. I'm actually in kind of shock. I did not think it would happen this quickly. But Nikita Treberkov, guys, that's the last little image you're going to see of any real hype or hope, any excitement potentially as Jets fans, because from here on out, it is just misery. Ladies and gentlemen, the Winnipeg Jets are an absolute disgrace. They're a joke. If you didn't watch Kevin Cheveldayoff's press conference, you gotta watch it. Some of the worst 30 minutes or whatever it was of being a Jets fan that I've had to witness in a very, very long time. Instead of getting a composed Chevy talking about a plan for the future, or any hope of what he can give the fans, of what to come, and what the idea is, what the plan is, finally, all we got was basically, we're gonna run it back. The exit interviews, every single player that came in their exit interview, they all had 2 things in common. One, none of them are interested in a rebuild. No shit, you think any of these guys that are 28, our team, most of these guys are going into their 30s right now. 28 to 30 range, all our prime players are, minus obviously Josh Morrissey and Mark Scheifele, and Kyle Connor, excuse me. But even then, everyone on this team is getting up there in fucking age. So obviously they're not interested in wasting away another 4 to 5 years in a rebuild. So no shit, it's not our concern if these guys are interested in a rebuild or not. That's for the team's decision to decide. And that should be it. So, thanks for sharing. Obviously, that means that we should probably be trading these guys. But the other thing in common was that all of them, united together, did not agree at all with what Rick Bowness said in his post-game after elimination from Game 5 in Vegas. They all thought they did not agree with it, blah, blah, blah. They did not agree with the comments he made, that he was disgusted and disappointed, and that there was no pushback, and how their star players were so much better than ours. And none of them agreed with that. Chevy echoed the exact same thing. Oh, that's not how we feel, that's nothing. And that's just all you got from the exit interviews, was just utter kind of disbelief, because no plan, no direction, no nothing, basically signaling to us that expect us to run it back. These guys are on contract, so we're going to keep them on contract. The Jets are probably thinking that they can have some masterclass trade deadline potentially and move all these guys out if they suck. But my God, waiting, I don't even know. just wasting opportunity with prospects. And either then, like, guys, you gotta see this. I can't. This was sent out by the team today. This is an official post from True North. Just read this. After everything I've told you, after everything you know, just. The Jets had plenty of pushback against Vegas in round 1. They won game 1 and rallied back from a 4-1 deficit. I was there. It was great, but it doesn't matter because you lost in double OT. Game 4, another deficit. Doesn't matter. They lost. They lost. The only disappointing part was game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed an organization tell the fan base that we should be happy we lost the playoffs and we just were happy to be here. That's literally what they're telling you. We made it to the playoffs, you should be happy. So as long as this team makes the playoffs every year and gets eliminated and barely makes the playoffs of that clinching in game 81, let me remind you, after tanking from almost fighting for first place and then failing to hold that spot because of no pushback. Well, it doesn't matter though. Even though your coach multiple times has said there's no pushback with this team, let's let ownership come out, direct the media consultants and all these people to come out here and put out this message to the fans. This is the... Like, I'm in shock. This is one of the most disgusting things I've seen from a sports franchise in a very, very long time because it is so fucking ignorant. Excuse the language, but, like, how stupid do they think we are? Be happy you made the playoffs. That is literally the message that they're telling you. They expect no change as long as this team can get to the playoffs and we can get some whiteout revenue. Oh, I hate how this has to be the result after I finally get to experience a Jets playoff game and the whiteout. And even then, the whiteout party I went to, like I've already said, they're telling everyone that we should be happy we made the playoffs and enjoy the ride. If you were at the whiteout party in game 4, you couldn't even watch the final fucking 5 minutes of the game there because it blacked out and only came back with a minute left. And even then... And then they let off fireworks in downtown above MTS because we lost game 4. But again, just be happy for the ride. Embrace the moment. That was literally the fucking motto for the whiteout and playoffs this year. Because that's all they care about is embrace this moment. Because we made it. Yay. Pat ourselves in the back. We're happy to be here. That's the entire theme of the season ticket rant holder video. The Believe in Winnipeg or whatever it's called. Forever Winnipeg. I'm not sure. But the season ticket ad that they put out that sparked national news about the Jets potentially relocating because of the message it sent to the fan base. Great job, True North. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This organization is fucking pathetic. And it's so hard to cheer for them and be a fan right now. And I'm not going anywhere. But it's just disgusting. Like, maybe year 1, year 2, year 3, we were just happy to be back, right? Everyone was just happy the Jets were back. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Even then, when we went and we finally made our first playoff appearance, we got swept by Anaheim, right? Everyone was just happy because it was such a close series, and I will still die on the hill that the Jets could have won that series. It was literally a game of a coin flip every time, basically. It was so close in so many of those games and those instincts. And even then, we're not talking about that, but the point is that those moments back then in the early years of this team when they were building, when you had the GST line being your top line, do you think fans at that moment cared about making the playoffs? No, they were happy to have the team back. The team has been back for over 13 years now. You made the Western Conference Finals once. You've advanced from the playoffs twice. That is it. Since this team lost to St. Louis years ago now, they have been on a downward spiral. The year after they lost to St. Louis, the Bufflin left, and they lost all their defensive core. What did they do? Absolutely fucking nothing. They stood pat. They relied on what? Yeah, exactly. Fucking nothing. They relied on Anthony Botetto, ladies and gentlemen. Like, do I have to take you back to that era? Like, the point is that they've always just had this idea that everything's fine no matter what. Even when they didn't make the playoffs. Like, let's be real. We haven't been very good lately. And when we beat Edmonton and we swept them, that was in a North Division fluky year where the Habs went to the Stanley Cup fucking final. Look where they are now. Okay? Like, I'm just saying that there was a very different year, and the fact that this organization can die on the hill that they genuinely believe after the performance they saw in Game 5 and throughout the entire games of 2, 3, and 4, and 5, I just don't understand it. I just don't. At this point, it's like, what are you trying to... No one can believe this, right? Like, come on, you can be a Blake Wheeler diehard fan and never think you can never criticize him. You can die on any hill of a Jets fan that you disagree with me with on any points I've made or anyone else has made about the Jets. I don't care. Like, I'm asking anyone out there to share this video, to post it in threads. If I'm disliked on somewhere, post this video there, because I'm talking to you people right now. I'm talking to everybody that has ever potentially disagreed with my takes on the Jets and a lot of people's takes on the Jets about where the rebuilding prospects and yada yada. After these messages, after what you just saw in the playoffs, do you genuinely believe that you are going to see anything better than what you saw this year if this core is continuously put on the ice? They're not going to make room. They're going to keep everybody under contract. I can almost guarantee it. The only one, maybe even sign Dubois to one more year because they have team control. He's got no fucking choice. Unless he sits out and doesn't play hockey, he's got no choice. So he has to sign. It's an RFA. Like, they're going to run it back. They're going to run it back, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to witness. We're going to witness this team back almost identically next year, probably, with maybe a couple prospects inserted, and maybe a Nate Schmidt trade or something like that to clear up way for Ville Heinola because that's what he needs or whatever. You hear the news that Bonus is going to be back, which is yay, great, but then you have them come out with the fact that the Jets had plenty of pushback. This is True North deliberately disagreeing with their head coach. I mean, like, no, he was wrong to say that. He was wrong. He's not right. He's fucking right. Everyone in the hockey world that knew anything about the Jets this year, when they saw Bonus's comments, they said, harsh but true. It's a harsh reality right now for the Jets, and they need to wake up, and Bonus called them on their shit and has been calling them on their shit since February when this slide began. And evidently nobody in upper management gives a flying fuck. So this is going to suck to really watch this team. I've seen where this went with the Canucks after that Cup final year, okay, guys? If you don't know, before the Jets came back, I was a Canucks fan. And even to this day, I'm still a Canucks fan. And I've had to witness these Canuck years with my friends and family out here. And it's been fucking terrible. The atmosphere out here regarding the Canucks is terrible. Everyone hates on them. Everyone clowns on them. And only when they're slightly good every once in a while can they bandwagon, because that's literally all they have. They can bandwagon every once in a while because that's it. That's what their highlight of the season is for the Canucks, and it has been for almost a fucking decade. That is the route that the Jets are heading right now. No direction, no real plan. Always making the wrong decisions. The Canucks adding too many players. The Jets are going to hold on to everything that they have and never add enough new talent to this team. They're really not going to do anything. They're purposely coming out here saying a coach that is coming back next year, that the players and the entire organization now disagreed with and completely has to go after and hide that comments and be like, oh, we don't agree with that. This is our actual... No. That is not right. That is not accurate. The Jets had no pushback because the Jets are failures, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up and smell the popcorn. It's the reality of the situation, okay? And they're not even that bad in the sense of rebuilding and retooling. It's not going to be long term. They could literally trade out 3-4 guys, put a ton of prospects in, keep some guys under contract. You got Josh Morrissey, you got Connor Hellebuck one more year. When you've got a good goaltender, anything can happen. Put in some young prospects and let it ride. Look at the Rangers, look at the Devils, look at these young teams, look at the Kings, look at these teams coming up with with talent and youth mixed into it right now. That are kind of like the end of these prime, the older era, the last kind of guys hanging around, and then this new influx of talent. That's exactly what the Jets are right now. Swap out the pieces that aren't working, throw in some new ones from the prospect cabinet that you have a lot of good ones. Brad Lambert, we're going to be talking about him in a video soon. My God, he's been absolutely on fire. He could potentially make the Jets next year and have impact. Like, he really could. And I know it's the WHL, but you cannot deny how good he's been. And if he can come over and translate that next year, that's potentially more opportunity. Rutger McGrory, Chaz Lucius, the fucking list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. They have potential. And they just refuse to look at the good work they've done drafting and be like, now's the time. 10 years ago when they were drafting and looking at the players they had on the roster, they had no problem swapping guys out and putting youth in because they wanted to win. And now they're just stuck in this phase, this illusion that they're still back in the Western Conference Final and that they're just one run away, one goal away every game to get back there. And that's not the reality anymore. It's just not. Wake up, Mark Chipman. Get the fuck out, Kevin Cheveldayoff. And just make some moves. Get this team ignited again. The Jets fan base, I can promise you right now, does not care if they are bad for a few years in an actual rebuild or retool situation. They'll just be happy we have a fucking direction again. Do you think they cared when Chris Thorburn was on the top line, like I've already said? Or when you had, like, oh my god, I don't even want to go back in the memory cabinet with some of the guys that we used to have to play and dress sometimes. The Ole Jokinen, the Zach Bogosians, oh my god, like, do you want me to go back to those eras of guys that we had and used in roles that we never should have used them in? Do you want to be in that position again? But this time, actually think we're good. No, if you were in that position because we're actually have direction and there's actually a course planned out, people won't care. We'll be happy that there's a future. Right now, there is no fucking future. No one knows the plan. There is no direction. The ship is sailing. I'm on the back of the Titanic, holding on like Jack and Rose, and it's about to go down, and I'm taking my last breaths. This offseason is going to be fucking brutal because they're literally going to stand pat and almost do nothing. At this point, I can absolutely guarantee it. They should trade all these players, but let's be real. Unless someone's expiring, or unless somebody in this situation like Dubois is an RFA and refuses to sign potentially, maybe then that might be the only trade. I genuinely think we're going to see a lineup almost near identical to this lineup going into next year. I legit think they're going to run it back. If they move out anybody, it's not going to be enough. It's going to be minor moves like trading maybe a Nate Schmidt or a Brendan Dillon or a Logan Stanley type move. Maybe moving out Mason Appleton, I don't know, to trade cap, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be things like that. Not actual impact moves that are going to be happening this offseason like usual, and you're all going to have to suck it up like I am and just get ready for the shit show that will be next season. This has been enough of a rant. I'm done, but my fucking god. What a pathetic time to root for this franchise, and I hope to God they wake up. This fan base is so passionate. It cares about this team. The city cares about the team, and ownership is just blind to it right now. They're so caught in the past, they can't sense where the city is headed with the feelings towards the Jets and what people want. They just don't care anymore. In the past, they always had their fucking ear to the ground and they cared about these things. And maybe it wasn't perfect in the last few years, but in the early years it was. And then they got caught at some point in this hype and thinking that everything was perfect, that they never have to work on anything. Reality is, they've only been around for fucking a decade and a bit. You gotta keep improving and making people want to come out to games and bringing in the new talent. They're not doing that. I'm done with this rant. I'm gonna keep going and going if I keep thinking about this. But my god, guys, send help.
It'll all be over.